Before we become emotional, we need to understand why are we starting from the word go? Why are you sad that a number of few people are doing this? Why don't you talk about the causative factors? Why can't we talk about precipitating factors? Why can't we talk about perpetuating factors? Why can't we talk about protective factors without taking sides?
Guys, today I'm at YMCA Central. It's just opposite University of Nairobi, and there is an event that is happening here. It's all about the African daughter, whereby the event is all about empowering our ladies, empowering our women, and me as a man, just showing up is a sign of supporting of what is happening. It is good when our ladies, when our sisters, when our cousins, our neighbor, our female neighbors get to be encouraged, get to be educated, get to be supported in.
My name is Valerie. My name is Kinyanina Gitonga.
I believe once you understand someone's perspective on how they do things, it is easier to approach things from that angle than bring your perspective, and your perspective probably they don't understand. So first of all, I will have to understand how much encultured are they, especially like for example, she has talked about going to Narok. If you go to Narok, there are certain cultures that are in Narok that don't happen in urban setups, yeah? Like matters surrounding mental health. In regions like the local or the indigenous areas, such kind of matters are perceived in a different way. You are perceived to be weak if you come out and say you are mentally not okay, you are depressed. The society views, in that perspective, the society views you as a weakling. But if you perceive things from the inside of the society, it will help you tackle them in a way that it will help the society to manage for example, acceptance of the mental health talks, acceptance of getting counseling psychology, acceptance of coming out and speaking truly what they are facing. Especially a sensitive matter like domestic violence, a sensitive matter like child marriages, a sensitive matter like sexual abuse in marriages, at home, sexual abuse at school, even within community setups. Such kind of matters, if they are approached from a communal perspective, as an expert, you will understand and you will deal with the matter in a correct way, rather than just going there and putting your perspective without understanding what is going on.
The goal that I think, or else I believe we should have, is to make the other person feel understood. That's the standard. It's not for me to understand, it's for you to actually feel understood.
Yeah.
So if I'm focusing on empowering you, whichever avenue you are using, including literature, I need to focus on your knowledge, I need to focus on your skills, I need to focus on your attitude, right? Now, when we're talking about us being influenced adversely or positively by mental health related issues, if as a clinical psychologist, I'm intending to reach to you, I need to, one, be very intentional when I'm doing my research before I get into writing, so that I may be relevant as you are, right? Without forgetting the pillars that I mentioned. That I'm going to equip you with knowledge, I'm going to equip you with necessary skills, and I'm going to equip you with the necessary attitude. Because like when you're talking about an element like resilience, it's a psychological concept, right? And for me to be impactful to you, I need to understand your dynamics. So I need to ask myself before I even address you, what are these factors that are affecting you psychologically? Are we talking about depression? Are we talking about bipolar? Are we talking about schizophrenia? Are we talking about autism? Whatever condition it is that you are talking to, I need to break it down to a language that you can easily comprehend and understand. Right? Because at the end of the day, I need to put it in a language that you can easily teach someone about the same. When you're talking about empowerment, we're talking about equipping you with the aptitude, with capabilities, with the capacity not only to live a more functional life, but also to assist those who are dysfunctionally affected. So I think the nature in how we are putting down our content, it's playing a significant factor. Is our books being read? Yes, they are being read. That's why we are publishing each and
So
every day.
I am born in Narok, no lie, but I am originally from Samburu County. Something that is relatable between Samburu and Narok is all of us are from the Samburu Maasai culture. And as much as there is significant milestones that have been made in girl empowerment, women empowerment across the country, when you look at these particular counties, Narok, Kajiado, Samburu, and the upper counties, Marsabit, Isiolo, Garissa, Wajir, you would actually realize that we are a bit aback when it comes to empowerment, because we've really held on to our culture. It's not a bad thing, it's actually a very beautiful thing, because we come out here, we see people wearing Maasai dresses. You know, Kikuyu, I'm not hating, but if it was a formal meeting, Kikuyus wouldn't really come in wearing their cultural attire, okay? So that's an example of how much we've held onto our culture. It's a beautiful thing, but then it means we've held onto the retrogressive cultures too, okay? When I come to Nairobi and I say that female genital mutilation is something that is still happening at the community level, and it is something that is holding women behind from being empowered, people from Nairobi will be like, what? That still happens? Please. But that is something that is also identified a lot with us. So for us, empowerment is different from what empowerment is for a lot of women, young girls. Because when I speak about female genital mutilation, the cycle of female genital mutilation is, if a girl undergoes female genital mutilation, she's told she's a grown girl, okay? What do grown girls do? They engage in sexual activities, okay? What happens as a 13, 14, 15-year-old when you engage in sexual intercourse? You probably get pregnant, right? You are ashamed to the community. You got pregnant. What do? We throw you in marriage. So you're 16, you're 17, you're married off, okay? In a different part of Kenya, where female genital mutilation is not something that is happening, that's not the same case for a different girl, a different woman from that place. So, just coming back to your question, empowerment for us means looking past our cultural practices and using our voices. So as we have an extra barrier, we have an extra step on the staircase to step on, okay? So what are we taught as young Samburu, young Maasai girls in this age? We are taught to use our voices. One, in a very simple way. We are taught that for you to be heard, you have to be loud, literally. Literally, you have to be loud. I think I'll just quote something from my mom. She says that when you have to speak for yourself, it might not be about the content. You might be very reasonable. As a 12-year-old Maasai girl, you might be saying to your parents, I need you to take me to school. Because education is truly the thing that will differentiate me from a lot of people. Are you speaking like this? I need to go to school. Because that is not speaking up for yourself. So one way we are taught to empower ourselves is to literally speak up, okay? Because that's the only way we're gonna hear. And the other day I asked my grandmother, why is it that you guys are still practicing female genital mutilation? She told me, you guys don't understand. So she says, you guys, she's referring to us advocates. She said, you just leave our culture alone. And then I asked her, what do you think is working? She said, you see the girls who go home after these sessions and say, mimi mkinikeketa, tapigia polisi. We have hotlines, nini nini. She says those kind of girls are actually at a better position to not undergo female genital mutilation than the girls who do not speak up for themselves. So for me, empowerment is a lot about using your personal voice louder and just stand up for yourself.
Men should not support men because he's a man affected. Men should support a man because he's a human being. Women are not supporting women because they are more empowered. Women support women because they feel women needs to be supported. Are we together? I'm feeling sometimes we are missing the whole concept about empowerment. Because in most cases what we call empowerment are stereotypes. No? It's like we want you to be independent, not to want a man. When empowerment takes that perspective, we are inciting. When I'm talking about empowerment to either a male or a female, I should be talking of skills. I should be talking about knowledge. And I should be talking about how your perceptions and sensation about social dynamics. Right? My focus should be, do you feel like you understand the meaning of life? What is your purpose of existence? Do we need some other people to come so that we may understand why we were created? I thought it was a personal call. And the voices that should be expecting from external locus of control should be the focus, the voices that are looking to me as a human being, regardless of my gender. You know, I feel we are missing it all when we are narrowing and splitting the whole conversation. If a man is to ever assist a man, it should be because a fellow human being has been affected, regardless of who killed the man. Because in most cases, we are getting concerned when a man is killed by a woman. Am I talking to someone? Yes. From where I sit, we need to align the whole thing, such that when we are talking about empowerment, we are looking on, not limited to those three major things, but we are focusing so much onto them, regardless of a culturalization, culture of diversities, social diversities, you know, and other factors. When you're talking about resource allocation, she mentioned something positive about affirmative action. Affirmative action, surprisingly, it's not only for women. For us, youth, it's for people gifted differently. But the focus is in how we are communicating our intentions in empowerment. So if I talk to my young daughter, Vanessa, and I talk to her as a human being full of potential, full of God-given gifts, full of talents, and helping her grow and tap that potential. I'm not talking to her because she's a girl. I'm talking to her because after that I'll talk to Adrian, my son. And I'll use the same phenomena. The only conversation we should be talking about is what she mentioned, about having a forward advantage. Right? And you should be addressing that by empowering the psychological adjustment, your growth mindset. I feel that's where sometimes you are getting it wrong. So what are we doing at Treasure? We are training life skills. Effective decision making, you know, creative thinking, right? We are talking about being assertive regardless of who you are. We want you to be in a platform where you can communicate your complaints, your concerns, you know, your excitement. You can stand for your own before someone comes to stand for you. So anytime I'm talking about empowerment, I want you to be independent as you can. But I don't want you to be dependent that you don't want help from other people. Anger is good. But it becomes a problem when it is used inappropriately. When I'm becoming emotive, when I'm talking of a sensitive topic like that, it's an ego defense mechanism. I'm just ignorant. And it's inferiority complex. It means I cannot discuss serious topics in this country. It shows that men of faculties are wanting. Right? So from where I sit, before we become emotional, we need to ask us, why are we sad from the word go? Why are you sad that a number of few people are doing this? Why can't you talk about the causative factors? Why can't we talk about precipitating factors? Why can't we talk about perpetuating factors? Why can't we talk about protecting factors without taking sides? No, I'm feeling like we are getting limited. You are not exhausting your cognitive faculties, right? So I would wish to change the whole perspective such that we address it as a social concern with open-mindedness, right? Anytime that a male is talking about wild child, it looks like they are ganging her. Anytime a lady is talking about girl, it looks like, you know, they are winning a mass. I feel that, again, that's where we are getting it all wrong. I thought anytime, like when I saw even the way we are also planning our events, empower her. I think that's why men did not show her. Please consider that.
That's why I changed the topic from empowering her to empowering a generation.
Yes, you get it even from the handy badge. You know, it was, sorry, biased, right?
Yeah.
So we need to accommodate, to have, you know, standardized, universal, and gender-based jargon, even as we come up with this program. And I like the fact that she has one farm that is capturing both the girl and also supporting the male, just like the main concept. So we need to work both of us hand in hand. But anytime that a common global topic is raised and you are mad, it means that you are afraid of thinking. It's like being mad because of climate change. Are you getting that? Is it that you don't understand forest? Is it that you don't understand precipitation? Topography. What is the problem here? The problem is I'm afraid of thinking. So anytime I hear you getting defensive, as a psychologist now, that's an ego defense mechanism.
Yeah. Yes.
That's an inferiority complex. Right? And I feel like you are a coward.
As I mentioned, in the early 2000s, they pegged women against men. They said it's men who are making you go through these retrogressive cultures. Yes? But they sat down and realized that it's men who call the shots. It's the men who are the village elders, it's the men who are the chiefs, it's the men who are the fathers in the houses. It's the men who sit in those dowry negotiation conversations and decide that you're going to be given out for 3 cows. You, it's 2, it's just okay. Okay? But they realized that men are the decision makers and men are the gatekeepers. So what did the people who came before me did and the people who are with me right now are continuing to do? Okay? They are now empowering men to speak up for the women. That's one of the ways that we are integrating men and women together instead of pegging them. Okay? You would hear a lot of men right now call themselves the feminist allies. I actually don't think it should be feminist allies. I just think it should be feminist, because a feminist is basically a person who believes that women should not be economically, socially, or politically disadvantaged, right? So it's not feminist allies. But even in my community, you would see right now we have a lot of men who are standing up for women. Michael is one of them. And truth to the factor, someone mentioned about a patriarchal society, right? We do live in a patriarchal society. And we're not trying to waste resources going head on with this patriarchal society. What are we doing? We are finding other ways of going around it for sustainable outcomes. Okay? So when we have men who understand that the position of women has always been at the low, men who have the understanding that women are equally as capable as men. Trust me, if me and Michael were to go to the community right now and we are speaking to the elders about abandoning female genital mutilation, they would most likely listen to him than listen to me, an uncut, unmarried woman. Okay? So are we going to waste resources keeping on sending women like me to the ground without male allies who are able to navigate these conversations and be had? Because at the end of the day, it's about social behavioral change, right? So that's back to you, Jacinta. That's really one of the key ways that we are addressing these conversations about empowerment without pegging men and women against each other. I serve at the Youth Anti-FGM Network as the Assistant National Coordinator. This is a movement of young people who are using their voices to advocate for the abandonment of FGM. Today, I am at YMCA at an event called Empower Her, stroke Empower the Generation. I was a panelist at one of the panel discussions. We were discussing about matters empowerment, specifically speaking about mental health, entrepreneurship, and touching a bit on sexual reproductive health and rights. We had a really vibrant audience asking questions, and do I feel like the little knowledge that I have given out is going to make a difference? Yes. Do I feel like maybe in a group of 30 people, one is going to take up a leadership course? Yes. So I think it's very important for we young people to look for this kind of events. You can go to Events That's one of the places that you can see any event that is happening. You come, you have these conversations, you hear other people's perspectives, you feel enlightened, you feel empowered, and you feel like your capacity has been built and the capacity is growing.
I am also doing this in this one of that. Right now we are holding the Empower Her event at YMCA Central, where we're trying to create awareness on the issues that women face, but not only women, we also movement, so that as we empower females, we are also going to empower women. And other than that, Empower Her event is a place where we get to learn about entrepreneurship, innovation, as well as wellness. So thank you for joining, and we also look forward to engaging with you on the channel.